The DSC Foundation has continued its work of supporting the mission of DSC through a second round of financial grants in 2021 targeting conservation, education, and advocacy needs both here in the U.S. and around the globe. I would like to take a minute to highlight the programs being supported through the latest series of grants. The conservation tenet of DSC's mission was well served as the DSC Foundation Board made supplemental support grants to existing grantees as well as first-time grant recipients. A grant to Zambezi Delta Safaris in Mozambique continues the long-standing foundation support of one of Africa's most internationally acclaimed anti-poaching and conservation success stories. Protection of rhinos in South Africa was bolstered by a grant to the African Conservation Trust. This species is holding its own and even increasing in areas where aggressive anti-poaching teams operate. LUWIRE Wildlife Conservancy in Mozambique received a grant to support a 5-year plan benefiting a series of nature-based businesses, all of which identify sustainable harvest as a conservation practice. Gramsels Safaris and the Mpumalanga Tourism and Parks agencies were assisted by a grant to protect the wildlife in South Africa's largest provincial nature reserve. This grant funds critical boots-on-the-ground anti-poaching efforts in an area recently granted World Heritage status. MASHAMBANZOU Safaris in Mozambique is spearheading a groundbreaking scientific study using GPS-fitted collars to monitor leopard numbers and movements. Gathering this critical data on such an elusive species will help counter unsubstantiated claims that leopard numbers are declining within this vast study area. In Cameroon, a grant was approved for the anti-poaching work being conducted by Northern Operations Africa. This remote area, home to key species such as Lord Derby eland, is especially vulnerable to poaching. And finally, on the conservation front, a foundation grant was made to the ECODEFENCE group, an intense military training program for anti-poaching teams operating in the northern section of South Africa's Kruger National Park. Support for our education mission was addressed through 3 grants. The first was the Kids Outdoor Zone, supporting an effective and ongoing youth outdoor education program. Next was a grant to the Texas Wildlife Association Foundation in support of in-class instruction of the importance of both stewardship and wildlife habitat, targeting middle and high school age students. An additional grant was made to the MULE Foundation and will support curriculum for the K through 12 educational system to further wildlife and conservation education. Lastly, a first-time grant was made to Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Texas to encourage, instruct, and provide opportunity to young people to experience a wide variety of outdoor activities, including hunting and gun safety. To support our advocacy mission, the DSC Foundation continued its support of 3 longtime partners. Conservation Force and John Jackson continue to be a leading voice for hunter advocacy issues on a global scale. This latest grant will support their ceaseless efforts on behalf of the international hunting community. Shane Mahoney and Conservation Visions received a grant to support their continued international efforts to promote and support sustainable, science-based wildlife management, as well as a broad range of incentivized conservation initiatives. And finally, a longtime partner of DSC and the DSC Foundation, the Congressional Sportsman's Foundation, was awarded a grant to assist in their implementation of their foundation's strategic objectives. The continued ability to support our mission is only possible through your generous donations. And for that, we are extremely grateful. The DSC Foundation is proud to support each of these outstanding 2021 grant recipients. Thank you.